You know the feeling of having a nice cup of tea or coffee to warm you up on a cold morning? It is simple and familiar, sometimes with a burst of flavor, but is always comforting. That's how it feels like to be with Chris. Rewind a couple of years to the year 2012. That's when we first met.
When I first noticed her, I remember thinking to myself, wow, she's really pretty, but also really tall. At the end of one of the lessons, I tried to estimate her height using a TV in the classroom. I even went to stand next to it just to see if she was taller than me. She was.
All I remember was thinking to myself, this guy has a strong and confident voice, which I thought was quite charismatic. And there was this one time I was presenting, and he was the timekeeper.
While she was speaking, the time was up and I had no choice but to hit the buzzer. But she looked at me with this half-shocked, half-upset expression, and I thought to myself, that's it dude, you've blown it. From now on, you're going to be that one guy who ruined their presentation.
Shortly after, I received a Facebook friend request from Chris, and we talked for a bit. I later realized he was Filipino Chinese, and I found it really special since I grew up in the Philippines.
My mom always tried to introduce me to a nice Filipino girl, but I could never imagine myself getting together with one. So when I found out that Suan was born in the Philippines, I thought to myself, she must be the one. I mean, what are the odds? Lo and behold, here we are today.
At that time, I think I knew he was interested in me, but things did not materialize then. I just wanted to be friends. And I also had an impression that he was a bike-riding bad boy who was too cool for school, and I was just a guai kia.
What guai kia? Years later, we reconnected at the beginning teacher symposium.
I truly believe that it was God's timing. Through conversations, I found that we had both matured, shared similar values, goals, and attitudes in life. So it was a really easy yes to the man.
Suan loves flowers, and I just can't understand it. I always believed that there were so many other ways to demonstrate my love for her, other than buying something that dies within a week.
I always joke that Chris is not very romantic because he isn't a fan of buying flowers. But I think he is definitely more romantic than me. In early 2021, he surprised me in what could be a scene from Romeo and Juliet by turning up outside my window while I was serving my quarantine. It brought a lot of comfort during that time, and I was really touched.
There are times where I can be too hard on myself as well as those around me, but she reminds me to understand how others feel, show them appreciation, and to go the extra mile to show gratitude and care for my family and friends. She never fails to remind me to care for others and demonstrates this in her day-to-day acts. There was this day that I'll always remember. I had a really high fever that just wouldn't go away, and I remember how she'd come by after work for several days to check on me and even brought me cool packs that I've never used before and paste them on my forehead. She sat on the floor by my side and kept me company as I lay helplessly on the sofa.
I would say Chris is the same kind of weird. He makes me ugly laugh till I ugly cry. He is dependable, loving, and has a heart of service. I'm generally the worry worm in the relationship, always thinking and planning 3 steps ahead, wondering about all the what-ifs. Chris has this magical power of putting me at ease. Maybe it is the comforting touch of his hand, his little sayangs on my back, or just him being around. There was this cycling trip that we went on. Halfway through, it started to pour and the winds were so strong. I was so cold and I couldn't see clearly ahead. Chris led the way and I just trusted his directions as we cycled on towards shelter. It turned out to be a really fun and memorable ride.
I was actually quite worried though. I remember wondering if she was okay behind me, whether I was leading her in the right direction or if I was going too fast. But Suan gives me confidence to lead. She gives me assurance that regardless of how rough things may be, she'd stick by me and always be my biggest supporter and comforter.
And that is how I see our lives together. We do not know what the future holds, but we will walk by faith and we will constantly remind ourselves that it is by God's grace we have come this far as imperfect people. And through the ups and downs, I know He is the one I want to go the long journey with.
I'm a sweet baby.